Balake. Where's Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Is my mic on? It looks like Ron is here, everyone. Thank you for joining me for a little bit, just a short little segment of SPTV on this fine Saturday afternoon. Tom Cruise arrived in typical Tom Cruise fashion yesterday to a major live international Scientology event that David Miscavige was putting on in St. Hill, England. And this was the first major live international event that David Miscavige has put on since early 2020. David Miscavige shut down Scientology for a good amount of time during the COVID lockdowns and kept Scientology organizations locked down in to various degrees, guys, for almost 3 years. Almost 3 years, not totally locked down. And so the big deal about this event that occurred this weekend is that it's not the first time David Miscavige has hosted a Scientology event in the last 3 years. It's the first time he's done it outside of Clearwater, Florida. And it's the first time it was done in a major giant venue, similar to the size of venues that these events were historically held at before the March 2020 lockdowns. And Tom Cruise arrived in Tom Cruise style in a chopper, his own personal chopper that it looks like he was personally flying himself. So let's see what has been reported on this. This is the Daily Mail. Mission Possible. Tom Cruise spotted flying into Scientology HQ in a helicopter as ex-members protest against the religion. Cruise was pictured arriving at Scientology headquarters via helicopter. Protesters were pictured holding numerous placards outside the HQ. Tom Cruise has been spotted flying into his Scientology headquarters via helicopter as demonstrators protested outside yesterday. The Mission Impossible star took to the sky in a black helicopter as he flew into the Church of Scientology Continental Liaison Office and Commodore's Messengers organization in East Grinstead, Sussex. In a world where it's so easy to find out the right way to report on Scientology, it endlessly annoys me when large international publications like the Daily Mail cannot be bothered to find out the right way to describe certain things about Scientology. But that's just me, guys. What do I know? I grew up in a cult. Protesters were holding placards which said, "When was the last time you saw your family? They love you, and so do we." I love that because it totally applies to Tom Cruise. Another sign read, "Who is really at cause over your life?" The group were holding banners and chanting slogans during their march to St. Hill Manor, the UK headquarters of the Church of Scientology. They are calling for an end to harsh and abusive practices of the local religion. It is thought that Tom Cruise has been a Scientologist since the 1990s through his first wife, Mimi Rogers. All right, there's Maverick, the Top Gun himself, piloting that pretty sweet-looking black helicopter. Let's see. Oh, great shot of the protesters there. Yeah. So anyway, there's little Tommy Cruise showing up to support his best friend, David Miscavige, little Captain Davy of the Fake Space Navy. And there we go. Just kind of typical Tom Cruise style. Okay, so let's talk about why this is noteworthy. I don't think there's been tabloid speculation that Tom Cruise was distancing himself from Scientology. I don't think any respectable journalist has ever implied such a thing. But because the tabloids will just make stuff up about this every now and then, and because David Miscavige has not held one of these major international events in almost 4 years, and therefore there wasn't really an opportunity for Tom Cruise to show his face in public support of Scientology. I guess that did in some respects open the door to speculation about Tom Cruise's involvement. After all, they don't really use Tom Cruise as a public facing Scientology mouthpiece as they were doing in like 2005 and 2006. it was reported to me, you know, I live in Clearwater, Florida. Scientology's New Year's Eve event was held here in Clearwater, Florida. It was a live event hosted by David Miscavige in the auditorium of the Fort Harrison Hotel. And it was reported to me that Tom Cruise was present at that event. But the thing is, that event, there's no way to promote or publicize that event to the public at large. And that is actually what made this event at St. Hill, England noteworthy. And I think it's also what made it noteworthy that Tom chose to arrive in such a public way, because arriving by helicopter made it possible for the media, the real media, like not internal Scientology propaganda publications, but the world's media, to become very aware that, yes, Tom Cruise did show up to this event. If he had just arrived by motorcade or blacked out SUV or whatever, I don't know. I think there were enough eyeballs on this event that they probably still would have been able to sort of tell if Tom Cruise had arrived. I just feel that arriving by helicopter was obviously a specific choice, and a specific choice to send a message. Yes, of course, Tom Cruise is still a Scientologist. I just don't think any responsible person actually thought that he wasn't. I do believe the Daily Mail is one of these rags that reported Tom Cruise is distancing himself from Scientology because there's no records of his helicopter flying to the compound the way there was in the past. And what they didn't seem to understand is there was no reason for Tom Cruise to fly his helicopter to St. Hill, England for the last 4 years, because this annual event, this was the anniversary event of the International Association of Scientologists. And for some reason, this anniversary event is held in St. Hill, usually every October. I don't know why. I mean, that the IAS was not created in England. I mean, I forget England is not the home of the IAS. I do not know why the anniversary event is always held in England, in St. Hill. But it is. And that event hasn't been held since October 2019. So they're just, and it's the only major Scientology international event that is held at St. Hill. All of the other events are held either live in Clearwater, Florida, or live in Los Angeles, usually at the Shrine Auditorium. They're recorded live, and then copies of those events are shipped out to all the Scientology organizations in the world who hold their own events. And so since the IAS event had not been held since October 2019, there simply was no reason for Tom Cruise to even be at St. Hill, helicopter or no helicopter. There just was no reason. And also, I do believe these days, if I'm not mistaken, that Tom spends most of his time in the UK. Probably just due to all the filming of all the Mission Impossible movies. I do believe he spends half or more than half of his time in the UK. I think he's got like some special kind of residency work thing just due to the how much time he spends there. So it makes perfect sense that he would go to this event. I haven't looked at the headlines just to check, but he's got to be filming the next installment, right? I mean, is he filming in the UK right now? It would have been weird for Tom not to go, especially since it's the first one of these events being held in 4 years. And there you go, guys. That's really all there is to this one. Little Tommy Cruise arriving in big Tommy Cruise style. All right, guys, that's it. We're about to do me and Mark and Claire and Mike and Christy and Matt and Amy are all about to do a live stream as a fundraiser for the Aftermath Foundation. We figured anytime. Oh, by the way, the Scientology event, the IAS anniversary event, is Scientology's single biggest fundraising day, weekend fundraising event on their entire calendar. So we figured, you know what? If they're going to fleece all the Scientologists dry, squeeze blood from that stone at this event, maybe we can raise some money to actually help people escape from Scientology so they no longer have to be squeezed, have all that blood squeezed from that stone. So that's what we're going to do, guys. That starts in about 9 minutes. It's going to stream live on all of our channels. You can find it on my channel and all the other channels. Thanks for hanging out with me briefly this afternoon, and stay tuned for more. Hope to see you guys soon. Bye.
if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, oh, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not,